Hello everybody and welcome to GuildGab, a show all about Guild Wars 2. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for episode 75. Today we're going to be talking about more of your questions. Last week we had a community Q&A and we had some great discussion. We have some more new questions, some more questions from last week, so we're going to be going over those. But first, puppies! Happy Easter, everybody! Easter is Sunday, so I hope you guys are all ready for Egg Day! MMOINKS and RPG Shack are joining me today.
Hey!
I don't know where Corvus went.
Let's
So
go.
you paid 200 gems for those bunny ears?
Heck
That's
yes,
a
I
pretty
did!
good bargain.
Yeah.
That's the first thing we gotta talk about. Of course, the most important update of the past week. Bunny ears! Bunny ears.
Yeah,
Store.
I mean, the community has been waiting a really long time.
2 years?
2 years, at least? Yeah, I don't know how
Oh my
long.
God.
Forever. And finally, I really thought like last year they were going to bring them back. But I'm so happy that they finally brought them back so that people can stop saying, when are you bringing bunny ears back?
Yeah. It really shows that people have their priorities in order when it comes to things that need addressing
Did
in
you
the game,
see the
doesn't
chart of the gem price, or the gold to gem prices? As soon as the bunny ears came out, it was like, shoom! It was like it shot up. But it only shot up for like that day, and then it came right back down. Because there were only 200, but there were so many people that bought them, it just like, I was like... The patch notes came out right before the actual update and said that the bunny ears were coming back, and I was like, if you want to, can do the gold to gem conversion, do it right now, because I said I guarantee you it's
Crashing
going
the
to
market.
skyrocket.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. Sorry.
So yeah, I bought them immediately. I'm glad that they were only 200 gems and that ArenaNet didn't try to get greedy and make them 500 because they knew everybody wanted them.
Yeah, 200's about right, I think, for those things. Like the Wizard's hat was 200 as well, I think, when it came back, right?
Yeah.
And a number of those things are about that price, so that's pretty good. I think I picked them up as well. It's funny, things like that are very seasonal for me, so I'll only wear them for the next week or so on a few characters, and then I'll forget about them for another year or whatever. But at 200 gems, whatever. It's 200. I think it's a good price, especially considering how much people wanted the bunny ears to come back. They totally could have milked it for 500 easily.
Yeah.
They really could have.
Absolutely.
I saw that 200 price tag. I said, "Aw, good guy, ArenaNet." 200.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
I mean, unlike something like the Wizard hat or pretty much just about anything else that they sold. It's a very seasonal thing, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you kind of see
I don't think bunny ears.
Santa hat.
Bunny ears
Every
isn't as
now and
seasonal as a Santa hat. Because a Santa hat is pretty much Christmas, and that's it. But you have the girls who want to be bunnies, or, have the cute bunny ears. That eye roll.
The furries.
Well, yeah.
What?
So, But yeah, so I'm glad they were brought back.
Yeah. I mean, I can sit here going, bunny ears. I've had them for 2 years, so.
Yeah, you had them before
Yeah, I
me.
had them in 2013 or something.
So you bought it as an outfit a really long time ago, then?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm a hipster.
I don't even remember how much were they. Do you remember how much they were when it was an outfit? Was it 200 then as well?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's. I'd have to go back and look at the history or whatever, but
I don't think it was a lot. I don't think it was a lot. Because I think around that time there was the Wizard's hat and a couple of other bits and pieces. I think the earmuffs had just come in a couple of the fuzzy panda hats and what have you.
yeah.
So there was a lot of kind of cutesy kind of headwear at that point. Yeah.
What about the go ahead, Inks?
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say originally, yeah, they were. It was a town clothes set, so it wasn't armor you could wear back then. It was just for wearing around town or whatever. And then the wardrobe change happened, and when that happened, they took a lot of those items. They took a number of items away. Bunny ears being one. I think there's aviator glasses, which still haven't come back, and there was a couple other things. So I don't know what's next on the list. Aviator glasses, boxing gloves.
Yeah, maybe.
I thought the
Something
boxing
like
gloves
those,
came
something like
back.
that.
Maybe they didn't. A lot of this
Yeah.
stuff is only coming back for a week. So if there's something that you guys have been waiting for, make sure to keep,
Get
if
it.
you're not in game every day and looking at the gem store, make sure to, keep it, an update on what items are coming back, because I think the bunny ears, it said only for 7 days they're available. So make sure to get in and get them if you want them, because who knows when they're going to come back again.
True.
What about the new outfit and glider? The Iron Forged?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
Iron Forged outfit and glider.
I think it's pretty cool. I like it's not. It's honestly, I don't know if it's something that I use a whole bunch, but the possibility for just running around looking like Iron Man is just incredible. And yeah, it's
If you're a man.
if you're a man and you can run around looking like a slightly slimmer, trimmer Iron
I
Lady.
like the female
Iron
one.
Girl
It's not.
with a butt flap cape.
Yeah.
I really like how the female one's designed. I like how both the male and female are designed. But while it's not, I didn't buy it. It's not something that I would wear over other outfits that I have. But I did like how it looked. I thought it was a very good. I think it had been a while since we've had like a heavy. 'Cause they kind of.
Yeah.
You have you have a lot of light outfits. You have some that are medium-ish, and then sometimes you have like full armor. And I think this just goes a step beyond that. So I thought it was very cool for people who like that kind of of style.
It looks pretty cool on Azura, actually. It looks really cool on Azura.
Yeah, mini tankish, makes you look really kind of tanky. Now on Solvari, it makes you look like a really super. Makes you look like Hulkbuster, Iron Man, or something. Somebody said it made me look like Baymax. I think that's a very apt comparison, because it's just, for whatever reason, when you look at it on Norn or even Char, the shoulders and everything seem proportional. And I hope they don't change it. I really hope it stays this way. But on a Solvari male, at least, maybe humans as well, but everything is like huge. Shoulders come out really wide, and your legs are like this thick, and I actually really like that. It looks so big that you can barely move in the damn thing, and yeah, that's really cool.
It's nice to have an armor set as well that isn't just like edges all over the shop. There's no like big spiky bits or kind of it's almost kind of like 1950s sci-fi. When it wasn't all edges and black and big glowy bits and pieces. It's all just kind of big kind of really nice aesthetically curving plates and that kind of thing. I can see something like that fitting really well into like a Fallout game or something. But yeah, no, I think it's a pretty cool armor set, and I'm debating getting it.
I'm still not a fan of the butt flap cape. Just gonna say.
Yeah, there's a lot of those in Guild Wars.
It's I don't know what it is. It's on this. First of all, it's on a weird wire mesh where it flaps a weird way when you spin. Like the edges flap up, and I don't know. The movement on it is kind of weird, and I'm just not a huge fan of like the half butt flap capes, the fake capes, the half capes, or whatever you want to call them. Just not the biggest fan of those things. They're all over the game on a million different armor sets,
they really
male,
are.
female, whatever. The only other thing is, so Asura male and female are the same. I'm not sure, like. They always get put the same. I'm not sure why that is.
Maybe it's because they're going for realism this time. Because
Asura can look cute and girly.
No, but that's it's how armor's supposed to be though. Like old medieval armor, it never had like cleave for the lady knights. Because what had happened is
the lady knights.
Lady knights. Yeah.
But even when they put a female version of an Asuran outfit or armor, it's not like they're showing cleavage on an Asura. Like they're still boxy. Like female Asura are still boxy, just like male. But you can still put them in a dress. that is obviously feminine. I don't like when they
female
use the
char
same...
don't have the butt cape either, which is, I mean, there's a reason for that because of the tail.
Yeah.
The tail would mess with it, and in this case, it's a good thing. They cut like a little hole for the tail, and it comes out the back of the armor. It actually looks pretty good on Char this time around. So I'm pretty happy with that. Because Char is one of those races that can be real funky sometimes with the armor set. So it's nice to see when an armor set, or when an outfit, excuse me, it's not an armor set, it's an outfit. But when an outfit really fits Char well, it's nice to see when that happens, because Char can get pretty unlucky with some of the outfits and stuff that come out.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's been forged by a Char. It looks like it's come from the iron, from the Black Citadel. Yeah. So it's cool. What about the glider? We have a glider that is like, doesn't look like it could glide because it looks like it's like 100 pounds.
It's made out of an airplane wing or something. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right.
The glider. Yeah. The glider's cool. It's huge, first of all. So it's like this much of your screen or whatever, which is really cool. It's bigger than I think most gliders, and it does have sort of this smoky trail effect, which is nice. It's 100 gems more than all the other gliders normally, though.
Is it? Oh, I didn't notice that.
It is.
It's 500 gems, and gliders generally cost you 400, unless you get it part of a backpack combo. And then you're paying for the backpack and the glider, which still works out to about 400 when you itemize it.
Yeah, because they're 700, aren't they? And the backpacks.
Right. Backpacks are usually 5.
300. Yeah.
Backpacks are 5. So, yeah.
Do you think it could have something to do with the fact that this ironclad, not iron forged, ironclad set also came out as a bundle with the... I forgot what the name of the weapon skin is. And like a makeover kit, and so it came as a bundle and separately, which was, I saw the bundle first and I was like, no, they're doing bundles again. I was like so upset, and then I was like, oh, it's available separately too. Thank God. I was so happy.
I think it's good they've listened and people have said, we'd actually like the option of buying these bits and pieces separately. Why the Immortal set is still in there on its own.
Because that's the grab, right?
Right.
If you think about it, the rarest weapon set in the game is the Immortal set.
Right, yeah.
As dirty as that sounds, right? I know that's gonna rub people the wrong way, but technically it's probably the rarest weapon set to see in the game. You have legendaries that are all over the place, and precursors, and fractal weapons, etc. Those are all obtainable. But the immortal weapons you can only get if you buy those huge bundles. And there's only been 4 bundles now. So technically, at most, if you bought every package, which would be insane, you could have 4 of the immortal weapons.
There's the bandit set, there's the crystal arbiter set, there's the winter one, and ironforged clad.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when ArenaNet put in a thing now, so those bundles are normally worth like 2,600 and either 75 or 25 gems. So if you itemize out every item, for example, for Ironclad anyway, the glider is 500, the outfit is 700, and then you have 5 Black Lion keys and a makeover kit, which you can itemize as well. That means that the immortal weapon boxes come in at 675 or 625 for each weapon, which on paper sounds fantastic. But then, of course, you have to spend 2,000 gems and get all of that stuff together, which, like me, you might not want the keys or the makeover kit or...
Yeah. Right. That's £10 for a skin. That's...
Well, a little under.
Yeah. It's... But I think, like you say, it's the grab, and people always do want the Black Lion keys and the makeover kits and that kind of thing. Because that's the... again, as we've talked about it before, this is where kind of the kind of the casual microtransaction thing comes in for Guild Wars 2, stuff that doesn't break the game and it's cosmetic and that kind of thing. Because you always spend 2,000 gems, and there's always a chance that I'm going to get my permanent hairstyle contract in the Black Lion chest, and certainly not a dozen useless boosters. But you know,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
You know, it doesn't really. It's honestly, it doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would at first, because there's so many Black Lion weapon sets out there already that this is just another one that is sold exclusively through those bundles. If you really want it, I guess you're paying through the nose for it a bit because you have to buy the whole package every time.
Yeah.
But oh well, what are you gonna do? I don't think you're ever gonna see the immortal weapons separate. They are gonna. They've already broken the habit of you can now get the outfit separate. You can get the glider separate. So you can buy those things a la carte. But if you want the immortal weapon, you're gonna have to buy the whole package.
Right, because otherwise there's really not much incentive to buy the bundle except for the reduced price. And I don't think it's very unlikely, I think, that someone would want every single item inside there. So it's kind of like how we said, like, there should be a weapon set that is in this part of the game as an incentive reward. You know, there's a rare drop that comes from dungeons or something, you know, some area of the game that's not played much anymore. And even though this is, it's gem store and it's locked behind gems, it's locked behind these expensive bundles, it's, like you said, it's that incentive. And I think that, I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I feel like it's smart on ArenaNet's part, and it's all the complaints about it being behind that expensive bundle are also justified. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they're in absolutely the right place. They're shiny enough that people go, "Ooh, I kind of fancy those," but not too shiny and effect laden that people go, "Right, come on, you're taking the mick here. This is a little bit much for what was supposed to be paid for." Having said that, the Dominator skins are still one Black Lion ticket, and I've bought a couple of those today. I think I've got the staff and the sword, and I'm still not over them. They're just amazing.
Yeah,
they're still beautiful.
That staff is like it screams melee staff all over it for me. Yeah, so I'm really tempted to like pool the money and buy the staff. I am. I'm tempted. I'm tempted to get that staff. I am.
I had 2 tickets.
I think it's under 100 gold on the trading post right now. The staff.
Yeah.
So I would get it.
Under 100.
If you're gonna go that route, I would get it now because it's relatively cheap. Do it.
Peer pressure. Don't pressure me. So yeah, there's the weapons. There's another glider that's
oh yeah.
There's another glider that's in the game. You can preview it, and it says it's going to be on the Black Lion market, the gem store, eventually. Probably in 2 weeks from now, maybe April 1st or something. But it's a bubble glider.
Bubble.
Yeah, it's cool.
I could finally roleplay as Bubble Boy, and I could just bubble around Tyria.
And it's huge. Like, it's not just right around your character. Like, it goes off the preview screen. Like, this thing is gigantic, and it's literally you're floating in a bubble. Like, that, instant buy. I will buy that instantly.
I'm just afraid it's going to be 500 gems. Please make it 400 like all the others, pretty much. Please.
Well, if it's not part of a bundle, then it probably will be 400, hopefully.
I know.
Bubble pack.
Hopefully. But, the bubble glider, it's funny because back in Winter's Day, we got that tonic to become a giant snowball. And if you roll off a cliff, you can glide as a snowball, like as you go down, right? You can't jump, so you can't get very good air with it, but now I can be a bubble. I can jump as a bubble.
I doubted it would be dieable, but that would be incredible. I'd be a giant pink bubble.
You'd have to dye all one color. But
well, yeah, of course. But I don't think it's gonna be dieable. But that would be really cool if it was dieable. All the different colored bubbles.
Yes! Oh my god!
It's like a video waiting to be made. Everybody with the colored bubble gliders. It would look really cool. For sure.
Deary me.
So that's kind of the big gem store stuff.
sales are continuing to go on
Sales,
until the
yeah.
end of this month. So we have about 6 more days for that storage expander sale. ArenaNet, make it happen,
I'm
please.
with you.
Isn't it in,
I'm with you,
what is it
Aurora.
today? Isn't it a storage
Today's llama finisher.
Yeah.
What the hell was I looking at this morning?
I don't know.
I
Another
heard
game.
someone, yeah, I read something on Twitter. Someone said something like it's a character slot sale today. I went in, I'm like, there's no character slot sale today. Like,
Well, yesterday was the crafting expander. You could increase the number of crafting disciplines your character can learn on a single character. Yesterday.
Mhm.
I'm going to
Today's
see what it is.
And they upped the bank tabs. You can have 14 bank tabs. Did we say that? Was that last week? I think
Yeah.
that was last week.
Yeah.
What day is it? What year is it? I have no idea.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right. It is the llama finisher. Oh yeah. Bank tab expansion is 600 gems. Oh, the mini rock is back for 350
is
gems.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
See, it's funny because I have some of those things. I don't think they show up for me. For example, I have all of the expand how many crafting disciplines you can learn on a single character. I have all of that unlocked. So that didn't show up for me in my sales because I can't buy anymore. Maybe the mini. I didn't see the mini rock there this morning. I'm wondering if that was
That was the
recently
past
added,
week.
or...
Is it in there right now still, Alex?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've literally just logged on.
Is the llama finisher on sale or just returning?
Yes.
It is on sale?
sale.
It's back at 600
don't
gems.
tempt me. I love the llama finisher. It's my second favorite
I know.
finisher.
It's one of the ones I don't have, so
I don't have it
kind
either.
of tempted myself.
I love it.
Kind of tempted. Guild Wars 2.
Oh my god, what are you doing to us? What are you doing to us?
Yeah.
Ain't it?
Tempted.
So, I have an update. Our team has defeated Slothazor officially on Wednesday. We downed him.
You bastards.
Awesome.
It was
That's
so
fun.
nerve-wracking because we got him to we raided for maybe half an hour or so. We got him to 5%. It's like, oh, come on, guys, we're so close. We've got this. And then, oh no, we got him to 5, and then we got him to 1%. You could just see the little red, and it was like, oh, we're so close, And then, a couple attempts later, we got him to, I swear, he must have been 2 hits away from dead. There was no red at all. It must
when
have
there's
been
nothing left in the
0.1%.
bar.
There was nothing
Yeah.
left, and we died. We wiped, and it was just so painful. And then it took us an hour to even get back, get our groove back. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. I don't think this is going to happen tonight because there gets to a point in the night of diminishing returns. People are getting tired, people's concentration is lapsing. So it's I don't know if we can do this, and I was like, please let us get it. And we did. And I screamed. I was like, yeah, yes. And I hear my husband from downstairs. He goes, yay, because he knew I was raiding. He's like, yay. He's like, I went downstairs later and he's just like, you beat the sloth, didn't you? I'm like, I beat the sloth.
Too fun.
Oh, and I got a mini slubling.
Did you?
Oh,
I
you got
did
the
get a
slubbing.
mini slubling. He slithers behind you.
Nice. Nice.
I've not been anywhere near it. I just don't have time. Just don't have time.
It's a time commitment.
Real life boys and girls. Real life boys. It's just
Yeah.
because Hannah's get a job, and
Did
Right,
she
I
tell you
have
to
to.
quit that Thursday night thing that you do? Or that Friday night thing that you do?
that. Just don't start, Jesus.
Oh, no.
How long have you got? No. I'm kidding. But yeah, no. It is just one of those. I can't sit down and just go right. I'm going to be here at 8 o'clock in the evening on a Thursday or
For 2 or 3 hours, just...
Well, yeah.
I'm kind of the opposite. I need to have a super set time where I can just show up and raid and try to commit that time. The problem is IRL. My group has been starting at 7 Eastern time, and that starts to get too late for me, just because I have other things I have to do at night around that time.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, like I usually wake up at 3 or 4 a.m. if I'm not already awake from the previous day every day. So by the time 7 p.m. rolls around, I'm totally drained for the day. I'm just so tired.
Yeah.
And then to sit and raid for 3 hours and try and make progression, like this whole week I haven't been in raids at all. Last week I ran around with Salt and did some. That's my Teapots Guild, and we did like some random Gorseville kills and Sabbath and stuff. So there's a lot of
I love
fun.
how you're so casual about that. Oh, we just dropped in and killed Gorseville.
Twice. But not a big deal or nothing. No, it was a lot of fun because normally I play Revenant, which I absolutely love. I love my Revenant to death. If I could only play one class, that would be it. But I played Elementalist, which I'm not used to playing in raids at all, and it was great. It was a great change of pace to play another class, to see a different aspect of the fight, killing cannons and being responsible for the orbs on Gorseville and stuff. So it's a lot of fun to play a different role and see a different part of the fight that maybe you're not used to seeing when you have done those encounters, quite a few times before.
Yeah, definitely. When I switched over to Druid before Raid Wing 2 came out and started learning it, and it was so vastly different from my DPS Dragon Hunter, but I loved it, and I still love it. And so now I'm maining it in Raid Wing 2, and kind of letting we have enough other Dragon Hunters that it worked, because Dragon Hunters are very useful in the Slothazor fight. And I'm having a blast with it. I love playing that other class. I love having the variety. And I'm just happy that Guardian and Ranger are like the two classes that are the top two for me in the game. And everything else is starts down here. And I love all the classes, but those are like my
coming up Ranger.
top two. So I'm really happy that I love Druid, because it's like if I had to pick another one, because you want to have some variety. You want to have an alternate in case the raid team needs an alternate or someone's sick, or so I figured that because I had healed in Guild Wars 1, so I was really happy that I enjoyed it and it wasn't like a chore to play the class. Although the event after Slothazor, that's what we did last night. We didn't beat it, but we got really close. We'll probably do it tonight. Trying to heal in that one is a pain, because everybody is all over this little fort, and I'm just like, and I see somebody's health go down, and I'm looking for them. I have no idea where they are, and they're up here on this platform. I'm like, I can't heal you up there.
No, that's like that's just raid teams. It's just like, if you want to be healed, come
to
here. Come to the healing person. Don't you think it's there's no shortages of druids in game, which it's
not anymore.
not anymore. It's something that every time I've gone into a raid, I've had to go and play DPS, because my primary choice of healer is always taken.
It's interesting because before we get into that, what were the first two classes that you guys rolled?
Ranger and Mesmer, I believe.
Guardian and Ranger for me. That was my
Which is funny because Ranger and Guardian were my first two as well.
Oh.
And I don't play either of those anymore. I played Guardian for way too long, but anyway. Ranger's interesting because I don't love Druid necessarily. It's okay. It's definitely super strong, but I hate being pigeonholed into having to play Druid as a Ranger, unfortunately.
That is the problem, yeah. If you want to bring your Ranger into a raid or something, they're going to be Druid. We don't want your Ranger, we want Druid. Yeah, be our healer.
Bah. But the thing is, Ranger DPS, though.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Fight.
It's funny because, I really love Condi Druid. I've been playing Condi Druid since Hot released. So I do find that a lot of fun. That used to be what I ran in Fractals a lot. but your group has to have a certain amount of cohesion in order to really effectively run Condi Druid, especially in Raid Wing 1. I don't know about 2 so much, but in Raid Wing 1, your group can't be taking that unnecessary damage. They have to minimize the amount of unnecessary damage they're taking for you to heal it that way. Or you could run 2 Condi Druids or a Condi Druid and an Aromancer, like a backup healer, basically, if you want to run it that way. And that's okay, but I don't know. I miss my old just flat damage Ranger that I used to play all the time.
Yeah, me too.
I like playing Ranger just when I'm in the open world doing stuff. Like, I have a dedicated Silver Waste character, and that's a Ranger, and she's always going to be a Ranger. Whereas my original Ranger is now my Druid for raids, which is kind of cool because it's like she leveled up, to like the best she can be. So my 2 original characters, which were my Guardian and my Ranger, are now the only 2 that I have the elite specs fully unlocked. They have all ascended armor and like they're raid ready, which is pretty cool.
So what it sounds like, the conclusion that we've come to here is that Rangers are the best class in the game.
Definitely the most versatile.
Yeah.
I love it. I love them.
Druid is pretty important.
Rangers are pretty important. Whatever you play. I remember I was talking to Gail Gray last year, and we probably mentioned this before, but she was saying that she was running around on a Ranger with 2 bows equipped and no traits.
What? No traits.
Yeah. It was a dungeon challenge. I think me and a couple of friends tried it at one point. We tried to we just did dungeons, but we didn't put any traits in. And
no pants run. Isn't there like a no pants forcible or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, like no armor or whatever.
Someone's done a no mushroom Slothazor.
No mushroom sloth. Oh, what way you don't?
You don't eat the mushrooms. Because normally you eat the mushrooms and then you go around and you just keep going around the arena while the poison fills in. Though I think actually they patched that so you can't do it anymore, because I think the original spot that they just fight in that spot, I think it fills with poison now, so you can't stay there. I think. So
you can't just stay there.
Yeah.
I don't know that I don't know why they did that. That could be like a pretty cool achievement that you could just say, kill the Slothosaur without destroying any of the mushrooms, or without depleting the poison field or something.
I watched the video and I actually thought, I almost thought, why don't we do it this way? Like, why do we move around? But I think it's that you just have to be so precise with your dodge rolls, and if you have the poison, you have to make sure that you go to the right spot. It's such a small area that you're in.
You have to play perfectly.
You would have to play perfectly because it's such a small area.
And there's some RNG involved. Yeah. It's funny because somebody else watched it and said to me, "Why don't we fight Slothosaur this way?" And I'm like, "No, we would." Are you kidding me? Someone would drop a poison 2 seconds into the fight, and that would be it. We'd all be dead.
And the fear, people getting feared into the poison. Yeah, they said that they relied on the druids, search and rescue, to pull them back if they run off.
Or people could just take their own Condi clears, but I ain't gonna tell you how to play.
We had a question about going back to we were talking about our favorite classes. What would you change about your least favorite class to make it more appealing to you personally? So first of all, what is everybody's least favorite class? I'm going to say right now, mine is Engineer. Is my least favorite.
Really?
Well...
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What is my least
Actually,
favorite?
no. But actually...
Mine's Warrior.
Actually, mine might be Warrior. I don't know. Warrior, Engineer, and Mesmer are the bottom 3 for me.
I'm going to say Mesmer for me. And it's not that I don't like Mesmer. I love Mesmer. I love the idea of Mesmer. I just got to get good, period. I'm terrible. I just suck at Mesmer. Mesmer and Thief. Thief, not so much. Thief in, PvP, I'm kind of bad at, in World vs. World. The whole... Anyway. Yeah, Mesmer. Mesmer for me. I really wouldn't change anything. I just got to get better.
I tell you,
Got to play the class.
It becomes a lot more. It's a lot more interesting playing as a chronomancer. I mean, like the wells and the shield are just so cool. But even like the core class, I only kind of booted up my Mesmer the other day to start unlocking the elite specialization for the first. I've not played it in ages, and I popped a scepter on, and I was going pew pew pew, and I was like, oh, this thing does confusion, and it became, and like I was just running around Verdant Brink pew pewing everybody with confusion. It was so much fun.
Yeah,
But,
I'll
like,
admit
I mean-
that a lot of the classes that are I list as my least favorite, I also don't know a lot about. Like, I haven't the faintest clue how to properly play engineer. So if I actually took the time to learn how it worked, I might like it more. But it's just not one that I've been interested in enough to learn more about it, or to spend enough time on it to really, like Ink said, get good at it. You know, and if I
Yeah.
did, then I might like it more. But I don't know. I've taken all 9 classes from 1 to 80. I haven't like instant leveled any of the classes. So I've had at least very casual playtime with all the classes. And Mesmer was probably the most difficult to level.
I think
and again,
so, yeah.
maybe just because
Early levels.
Yes, early levels are very difficult with Mesmer, I think. And I just, yeah, engineer and warrior, I don't know, engineer, I just like drop turrets everywhere because I love any kind of summon in a game. Like, I love minions, I love turrets, I love anything. I know this sounds terrible, but I love anything that any class that I can summon something to do the work for me.
There we go.
I know it sounds terrible, but it's true. I love summons. So, engineer, I was just a turret engie from 1 to 80. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Like,
Grenade kit is where it's at. It's just
See, that kind of annoys me with engineer because it's not that I don't like grenade kit. It's just that you use it so much. It's so overused. I don't know.
well, there's grenade like elixir. No, I thought engineer, it levels slowly, but it's a lot of fun. Like the elixir gun is fun. The flamethrower is just glorious. Like just running around setting things on fire and giving yourself might while you do it will never stop getting old. And it's for me, it's just one of those really kind of interesting classes where they just go, oh, we can do this, just really interesting ideas in some of the kits, and also artillery barrage, which I don't think is there anymore. Maybe? Yeah, it must be there. But yeah, that's awesome.
Which one?
Artillery barrage. I think it's gone to an F5 skill now. Can't quite remember. Oh well.
I have no
But
idea.
yeah, but then you've got supply crate, which is amazing, and then you've just got there's so many really cool ideas around. Even like its heals are so cool. You've got the med kit, you've got the healing elixir, and then you've got the turret. So it's really nice. It's 3 different distinct ways to heal, which I don't find that you get so much on the other classes. I like engineer. It's fun. Oh, and also that
in PvE, there's just, to play it at its best at the top tier, there's a lot of buttons to press, and I think that frightens some people away when it doesn't have to. It's not so much about the buttons that you're pressing or the number of buttons you're pressing, but it's about swapping in and out of kits quickly to just use the 1 or 2 skills that you need and move on to the next
yeah, true.
best skill. So like engineer is not necessarily about using this set rotation and this is always what you do. It's kind of about knowing your cooldowns of the skill and knowing which one is up and which one is best to use at that time. Which is actually really interesting. It's a really interesting way to play a class, and I think that because you do swap into so many kits and use so many of those one-off skills, I think it allows you to know that class a lot better inside and out. I find that people who play engineer most of the time happen to really know that class inside and out, and I think that's because of the way they swap in and out of kits so often.
Yeah. But now, yeah, I like Warriors though.
I didn't like Warriors in Guild Wars 1, and I don't like them in Guild Wars 2. They're boring to me.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem with Warriors. I know that Phalanx Strength Warriors and 100 Blades, etc., etc., etc. It's all useful and stuff, and Shin's videos about Berserkers and all this keep cropping up, and big damage numbers and what have you. But God, it's boring.
Yeah, Warrior for me suffers from that. I have nothing against it. I don't play it too often, but I don't know. It's not one of the more exciting classes, I guess. And Berserker didn't really add a whole lot for the excitement level of the class, in my opinion. Unfortunately.
Right.
On the other hand, Warriors are super useful.
Yeah,
and you're probably gonna want one.
Absolutely. And those res banners. Oh my god. Completely saving you in raids. I mean, yeah. No, I'm not saying that any of these classes are bad. I'm just saying that for my personal play style, I'm not into them. So.
No.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, the thing is, people can say exactly the same thing about rangers, that you stand in the back and you pew, but you're wrong. So there we go.
Wow, harsh, harsh. Yeah, it's funny. One of my problems is, I always talk about reducing the amount of characters that I have, making it as minimalistic as possible, which is why I go through characters so often. And at the end of the day, the problem becomes I enjoy at least some aspect of almost every single class. Certainly, there's some classes I play more than others because I enjoy them more. But I think that as far as MMOs go, in Guild Wars 2, they've done a really good job of making most of the classes attractive to at least one subsect or another, or at least several classes. It's very rare that I run into a player who only plays one class and not anything else ever. So, I guess that says something about the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, that there's. We're not sitting here saying, "Oh, this class is rubbish," and that it just doesn't appeal. There's particular things that don't appeal to how we play. I mean, I've never been a huge kind of tank / melee kind of character player anyway. I always preferred either kind of wizards or kind of ranged combat. So things like the druid do very much appeal to me. Sorry, the ranger very much appealed to me, and yeah. But weirdly, elementalist doesn't sate my longing to be a wizard, and I'm not quite sure why. Is that in almost everything that I play RPG kind of ways, I play a wizard or the wizard equivalent of whatever. But Ellie isn't like that for me, and it's a really fun class, but I just don't have that relationship with it.
Huh.
LEOP.
Yeah. Although even elementalists and rangers are quite similar. That their best skill is on their bow weapon, and it's number 4. So.
So Rangers OP. Bow's OP.
Yeah, Bow's OP.
Got my long bow.
Even that bow of the Avenger that the Guardians.
I'm just Dragon Hunter longbow.
Man, a lot of those need a rework. A lot of the spirit weapons, with the exception of the shield, probably. Most of them need a rework. Guardian spirit weapons.
Yeah, but hey, it's
I used
what
those a
you
lot
do.
when I was leveling up for the early days. It was like, summons! It makes the Guardian
I'm,
even better,
I'm,
yes! I just summon
I'm,
all these weapons and they just go and fight for me, yeah!
I am slightly embarrassed to say I used to run at least 2 spirit weapons when I leveled my
Heck
Guardian
Oh,
yes!
3
we all
plus years
did.
ago.
Heck yes!
We all did. They look cool.
And
And
then I got into running dungeons and stuff, and people started yelling at me like, "Why are you? Stop running those terrible skills! What are you doing? Those things are terrible." I'm like, "What are you talking about? They're amazing! It kills everything around me. I don't have to do anything.
and then
You guys are
you found
crazy."
and then you found things like what is it, Hallowed Ground and Purging Flames, and you're like, oh, these work better.
Spirit weapons.
Yeah. I don't. Do we have some questions from
We
the?
do. I'm looking to see. I was trying to find
the
one that would like be a good segue from what we were talking about, and I think the closest is from Cookie. Do you think legendary armor should only be accessible through raiding, or should there be another way to access it?
I think that the whole idea of legendaries was that it's something you've got to put time into. And it can be a continuous long-term goal for people. I don't necessarily think that gating that kind of thing behind content is perhaps the best way to go for a predominantly casual MMO, because it locks out a potential long-term end goal that somebody might have. Making a particular set of legendary armor behind different modes of play, I think, is a good idea, because if you see a set of legendary armor, say, oh, that person, has got the raid set of legendary armor, or that person has got the PvP set of legendary armor, or whatever. I mean, we're even kind of seeing that with the back pieces at the moment. So we've got the fractal back piece, the PvP back piece, and I think if that was a direction that they could go in, where they went, you end up having 4 or 5 sets of legendary armor, and each one is for a particular game mode, then I think that's the way to go. Although I guess with how they've done legendaries in the past, you have had to do some aspects of all game modes, but yeah, I think putting a I'm trying to talk and you guys
I'm sorry. I'm just so distracted by chat. It's too good. My expert trolls.
It's interesting. I think, I actually am okay with where the legendary armor is. I think it's fine that it belongs behind raids, or that it is behind raids. I think it's okay that the weapons are generally something you don't have to do raids for. If you want to work on a legendary weapon, you can just run open world PvE stuff and lots of gold. And if you want the back piece for PvE, then you have to do fractals. And I think it's nice that you have to do each of those. You also have to run dungeons, or you have to do PvP reward tracks, I guess, for weapons. So I'm okay, because it's sort of like a trifecta, right? That you have to do raids, you have to do fractals, and you have to do like open world / dungeon stuff if you want to make weapons, or have a load of gold for weapons, I guess. I do hope, or I do think that there should be equivalents available for World vs. World.
Yeah, definitely.
And for structured PvP. Now, structured PvP, because of seasons, does have a back piece. At some point, it would be amazing if they could get an armor set for future leagues, or maybe next year's seasons or something.
Yeah.
So that as a PvP player, you can work on that as a whole, and you can earn your own unique looking set via that game mode. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, we're waiting for a World vs. World revamp. So when World vs. World happens, I don't know that legendary back piece is on the first thing on their ticket just yet, but I think it should definitely be something that is implemented via seasons, or some kind of World vs. World reward track kind of thing, and eventually down the road their own armor set as well. And that way it promotes playing those particular game modes for those players. And it also spreads it out, because some people just don't like the raid, and I can understand that. I think there should be other ways other than the typical open world weapon crafty style to get that stuff. So I'm happy that it's kind of locked behind raids, but I wish it was also in structured PvP and possibly world versus world as well to promote those game modes for armor, back pieces, etc. Going forward.
Yeah. I think especially because of the way that legendary armor is done through the collections, I think that right now, for the very first time that they're ever going to release legendary armor, I'm okay with it being locked behind raids, as long as in the future there's other ways to get it. Now you got to remember that I'm coming from someone who is doing raids, who is actively raiding, who is making progress through the raids and getting these collection items. So it's in sight for me. I can the only thing I have to compare it to is the PvP back piece. I think that those golden PvP wings look amazing, and we haven't even seen the legendary version of it yet, right? We've only seen the precursor. I think they are amazing, and I want them, but I don't PvP that much to be able to earn them without really dedicating myself to a game mode that I'm not that into as much as PvE. So,
I was going to say, I think that's the way to go, though. I think with, like you were saying, that how legendary armor is at the moment, it is locked behind this raid content. If you want that particular set of legendary armor,
yes,
get raiding.
Right. Now, exactly. So if in the future if they make PvP legendary armor, but the skin is exclusive to PvP, like, I would be all for that. So if you want that skin, it's like you can get a fractal back piece, you can get a PvP back piece. They're different skins. So if you want that shiny PvP skin, you're going to have to PvP for it. Too bad. You're not, I wouldn't want them to add it suddenly to PvE and have there be a PvE way for me to obtain it. So I think that this is just the very first way to get legendary armor is through raids, and that's going to be, and we don't even know how it's going to work exactly. We don't know if it's going to be 3 separate skins for light, medium, heavy. We don't know if it's going to be one skin, if you can swap the stats. We don't know. So we got to kind of wait till that comes out, and I think that once that's released, I hope that they will add it to other game modes. There will be a legendary armor available for PvP, but it will be a different skin. That's my hope. I think that that's the way to go. So that if you want that legendary armor, you can have it, but you can tell when you look at someone, like if I see someone out in the world with those PvE wings, I know that they're a PvEer, and I love that. If I see someone with a fractal back piece, I know that they've dedicated themselves to fractals. I love that. I love those dedicated game mode skins. So once I get if I get the legendary armor from raids, hopefully if they add another set of legendary armor to some other game mode, hopefully it does look different so that people know I can wear that armor with pride and say that I am a raider and I did that content to get this.
I know. Atomic says don't lock items with special functionality behind specific modes of content. I think that's pretty much what we're saying, that we don't want to see happen. That you've as things stand at the moment, you've got the initial legendary back pieces that are fractals, PvP, and then you've got the legendary armor that's in the raids. But as time goes on, we want to see other ways of getting this kind of thing, because I think that's absolutely right. That you. I mean, so this is essentially just retreading what AP's already said, but there's got to be that accessibility to all of this stuff that people want.
Yeah.
It's interesting because legendary weapons sort of suffer from this part of not being very legendary, especially the originals. And even still, the whole quest that you have to go on. The word's skipping my mind, but at some point along the line, there's a huge gold sink involved for these things, and there's no, that's what kind of bothers me. It's not necessarily legendary if you just paid 4,000 gold for it or 2,000 gold for something.
Right.
I want it to be specific, difficult things that you had to do. And I know that some structured PvP players are totally going to disagree with me because it's very easy for them. But getting to legendary, several seasons in a row, or I'm not even sure about world versus world, but some kind of thing for world versus world that would be difficult as well. I want to see when there's something legendary, I want it to be tied to difficult tasks rather than just you need 400 gold, you need 500 gold. That's boring. It's not interesting to me. It's not fun. It's not. There's nothing legendary to me about that. Beating a boss where you can't heal, where your healing has almost no effect on you, or you're not allowed to dodge, or you have to beat it in 2 minutes, or whatever the case is, some arbitrary, thing that makes that content more difficult is what I want to see when it comes to legendary collections or legendary sets.
Yeah.
I don't want it to just be some kind of gold barrier that you have to surpass either by your credit card or being very good at the trading post or whatever.
Yeah.
Like being super lucky with RNG, for example. So, I think that some of the legendary collections could use a little bit of improvement here and there, but they're starting to move in a better direction, I think, than they originally were, instituted as.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a positive step. I just want to see that, I know some people don't like the idea for the PvE version to be locked behind fractals or be locked behind raids, but these are supposed to be difficult things to get. They're not necessarily supposed to be obtainable by everyone.
Right.
I do think, however, like we were saying, that there should be a PvP version for those who like to do that. There should be a world versus world version whenever that update comes through, and that stuff can be addressed properly. If you like those game modes and you only play those game modes, for example, our friend Rihanna, she basically only plays world versus world. She probably has very little interest in raiding. And so I think that for her, players like her who only do that game mode or only want to do that game mode because that's what they find the most fun, there should be, a respectable way to earn special things that show that this is the game mode that I play, that this is the things I play.
Totally agree. 100%.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also like to see gliders.
Yes, yes, please. Oh my gosh. Yes. The fact that there's not a glider as a reward for raids is just why? Why?
Maybe I'm just maybe I view gliders the wrong way. I kind of see gliders as the mounts of Guild Wars 2 currently. It's one of those things that if I'm gliding around, I will notice the gliders that other people are using. But 90% of them so far are just we've already harped on about this a million times, but they're just gem store things.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see one for clearing the raid. We have one for PvP if you get the legendary backpack. Whenever the fractal one comes in, that'll be a glider as well. I'd love to see a world versus world glider of some kind that you get for doing some kind of achievement once again. Yeah, I just want them spread around a little bit, and maybe in Living World Season 3 we'll see some kind of reward like that, or who knows. But I'd love to see those things sort of scattered around as well in game, that things basically that signify that you did a particular thing in the game in order to get it. Mm-hmm. I used to get asked all the time where I got the Emperor title. And even though that's like a gold sink, it's just one of those weird things that people recognize and say, hey, you have X. Where did you get it at? How can I get that? And I don't know. I think it's just cool that players can show off that they have a particular item that was not just bought or whatever, but earned a particular way. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. Some of my favorite back pieces are the ones that can't be got anymore because you had to be there. Even if it was easy to get, so it says I was there for that content. And
right.
I love it. So speaking of gliders, would you like to see gliding in a PvP map at any point?
It depends. It depends how it'd be implemented. If it was to travel across portions of the map, or maybe to do the bombing thing you do in the Shatterer. I don't know. It's certainly an interesting idea. I think it could be worth a closed beta to see if it's actually any good.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I would be interested in testing. I wouldn't want them just to add it to the game, just to add it. Like, that would something that definitely needs to be vetted with serious PvP players to see how well it works or doesn't work. It's an interesting concept. Just like gliding in world versus world is sort of an interesting concept, but there's so many things that can kind of go wrong with that, I think. That first of all, you'd have to have a map where gliding is sort of special, or you couldn't just add gliding into the
There's no point like gliding around like Spirit Watch or something like that. It because that
hammer maybe you can slide down from the cannon. I don't even know. That probably doesn't even work exactly because maybe it does. I don't know.
Well, with Spirit Watch, it just killed the entire point of the map. That being able to kind of tap spacebar to stop your fall damage, it would just to me it would completely invalidate the way that map was set up.
No, I don't think it could be. It could work in any of the existing maps.
No,
they would have to make a new one that was for that. And then, like, are you able to attack people while they're gliding?
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
Like, while you're gliding and they're gliding, you're like doing air battle.
Oh, well, no, I don't think that would happen. But, like, yeah, someone was saying, like, the Rangers would just sit with their longbows and pick people off as they're going by, shoot you out of the sky, and you'll die from fall damage.
And then Rangers are totally viable in PvP.
Longbow 4.
They already are. 4. Druids are already very strong. But, yeah, I don't know. You would need a special map for gliding to work properly. And even then, it might be kind of gimmicky. I'm not sure. I definitely wouldn't be. I definitely don't have a problem with like sort of vetting that idea out to see how well it works or doesn't work. But yeah, I don't know.
The thing is that I think ArenaNet are pretty good at just going, well, we tried this, it wasn't fun, so we stopped it, and that's really important, rather than just going, oh, people desperately want this, and when it's put into game, it kind of sucks a little bit, and then they just take it out, and no one misses it because you tried it and it didn't work, and that's absolutely fine. It'd be cool to have a mess around with, though. Like I said, in like kind of some kind of closed beta testing and what have you. But yeah,
somebody kind of mentioned, what about gliding in Super Adventure Box whenever that comes back?
Again, specific maps would have to be created in Super Adventure Box to glide across. Because again, I think that's one of the one of the slight problems with bringing gliding into old content, that it can slightly invalidate particular jumping puzzles and that kind of thing. But hey,
I don't think we'll ever see it in Super Adventure Box. It's instanced, so.
Oh my god, what is happening behind you?
Chaos. Okay, so the dogs were very excited about something.
Yeah. They were well up for gliding in PvP.
They really want Super Adventure Box gliding. Bring it back. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Dearie me. But
I think she's still waiting for the dog.
She's still muted. So that means while Peachy's muted, we can say whatever the hell we like.
We could take another question.
Take another question.
There we go. Sorry, you're going to have barking in the background. Last question for the show. What was your favorite Guild Wars 1 and 2 April Fool's joke, and what would you like the joke to be this year?
Favorite Guild... I can't remember any of the Guild Wars 1 jokes. It's been... I mean, I think obviously Super Adventure Box is the Guild Wars 2 thing. But... I think April Fool's jokes work when something is... that's right, yeah, there's the stick people. There's the stick people one year, wasn't there?
Stick people, switching the size of players and minis, making everybody a Gwen doll, switching genders. Those are the 4 I can remember off the top of my head of Guild Wars 1.
The Commando stuff as well for Guild Wars Beyond.
Right.
The Commando pack as well.
Yeah, I love when they do something out of game like that as well. Like, I don't know, they're going to say, expansion, released today.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed a lot of the Guild Wars 1 April Fool's Day things, jokes, whatever you want to call them. But I'm going to have to just say Commando Super Adventure Box. Boom, boom.
Yeah, pretty much. And
obviously, Super Adventure Box is the best. Is the best April Fool's joke. Obviously,
the joke is you're never getting it back.
But here's an April Fool's jokes or April Fool's kind of things rely on them being short term, and they rely on them being kind of quirky and harmless. And Super Adventure Box wasn't that. It became a lot, probably unintentionally, it became a lot bigger than it was ever intended to be. So stuff, little kind of daft stuff like bobbleheads and the aviator stuff and all that kind of jazz. I think that's more in keeping with the April Fool's kind of spirit. I'd like to kind of see something where I don't know, maybe you will end up as like children for the day, or everyone's got like children models, or do you know what would be amazing? Ruby, if you're still watching, please let them do this. Everyone becomes Tengu for the day, and then just watch the world explode.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with
that.
Yeah. Tengu for a day.
Tengu for a day. Yeah, turn everybody Tengu. Well, because the thing is, the model is the same as, or the basic wireframe is the same as the Char, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
And we've already got Tengu in game. Hop them on.
Sure. And just hit your button. I know that ArenaNet has a magic button there. They just press it and magic happens.
Yeah.
So April 1st, just hit the Tengu button and magic.
It's
just that easy.
It's just that. She told us that she's got a button that just fixes things.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I think no matter what it is, realistically, it's going to be something that they can later sell in the gem store. Like the aviator, the bobbleheads. It's going to be something that you can push and it just like, it turns on. You know, I mean... Tengu. I mean, honestly, I think they should make a whole, like, page that says, Tengu race confirmed, and everyone freaks out, and then the next day realize it's April Fool's. But you log in, and then everybody's a Tengu. Yeah.
This is Googly Eyes.
Googly Eyes.
Googly Eyes transform for every character? That would be terrifying! No!
Yes, that's a good one. That'd be
brilliant. Well, because we've already got the pet rock with his googly eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's like the pet rock is the best pet in the game. Can you imagine if like some of the serious pets had googly eyes? Like you've got King Adelben with googly eyes, or.
Yes, I love the googly eyes idea.
What if You know how in Skyrim there's a mod where you can give all the mud crabs top hats and monocles? Just imagine that every bad guy you fight, like you're in Silver Wastes and all the Mordrum are coming at you and they're all like top hatted and monocle. So like everyone's having like a really polite fight.
Yes.
They're all very polite.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god. There you go, Kai. The gates to the Dominion of Winds opens, and inside it's Sab. Yep.
Yep. There you go.
Zaitan with a top hat and a monocle. That's actually my favorite. Is they do something that makes you want to go back and play old content to see what it looks like. Like,
Yeah.
you know, go play your living world, go see, you know, or your personal story and go see Traherne in a top hat and a monocle. You know, like, I think that's the best stuff. Makes you want to go back or makes you want to use all of your tonics. Like with the bobbleheads, I was turning into like everything I could. I see what a quaggin looked like with a bobblehead, which is terrifying.
Yeah, I don't think I bought either of those, but it's people place them down. It's always fun to every once in a while. Yeah, see the different bosses and the different enemies with the giant bobbleheads and stuff is pretty funny. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely something like that, googly eyes or top hat or whatever.
Sure, I'd love it if they did googly eyes and then do the final mission of Heart of Thorns, and then you know where Traherne's there in the thing talking about you know dying to save the world.
I still love that part of the story because he's like, you're gonna have to kill me. Sure, no problem. Let me go grab the sword and I'll just stab you real quick. And your character's like, Traherne, no. No, Traherne.
You're just like, come on, Shank. Let's get this done.
Go with it.
Yeah, you're not the boss of me. Let's just stab him. There is. Die, Traherne. A word commander.
Can you imagine? What would be great is, you know the bit where Air dies, right? And she gets stabbed up against the tree, and she flies back, the eyes just rattle on.
Oh, poor Air.
Oh, God. See? There you go. Replayable content right there.
Googly eyes option.
Yes.
Too funny.
I know, approve of this. All right, guys. We're going to end the show there. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Twitch. And if you're watching live on YouTube, scroll down below into the description and check out links to all of our places and follow them for more Guild Wars 2 content. We'll be back next week on April Fool's Day. We'll see what the big reveal is. I'm so excited.
Can't wait.
If you're watching live on Twitch, please stay tuned for a brief post show. And we'll be back next week. We'll see you then, guys. Take care. Bye!
That's watching.